Hello, Matt. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks everyone. Sorry we're a bit late, bit of traffic on the way to the ground. Todd Murphy, Lyon to play his 5th Test match this week in the absence of Nathan Lyon, pending selection. He's here to answer your question. Anyone got a question? Todd, there is a mic here.
Todd, can you talk us through the roller coaster of the last couple of days? Obviously, I'm sure disappointment for Nathan, but also excitement for yourself and the opportunity that awaits.
Yeah, it's obviously devastating for Nath, a guy who's been so durable for so long and plays a massive role in the Australian cricket team. So, yeah, to see him go down was really disappointing. And it obviously hurts going forward for everyone, but yeah, hopefully I can step in at some stage if I get the opportunity and be able to play a role.
Can I just ask one more? How do you expect England to play you? Like, obviously they've made a point to be very aggressive, very attacking. They really tried to go after Nathan in that first test at Edgbaston. Do you expect them to do the same to you? And if so, are you sort of confident that might play into your hands somewhat if they do?
Yeah, I think they'll probably come even harder at me. Obviously, I haven't played a hell of a lot of Test cricket, so yeah, there's a challenge that presents itself there, and they're going to keep taking the game on. And yeah, I think it's just about trying to navigate through that for me and come up with a few different ideas potentially that hopefully can help. And yeah, just try and stay in the contest for as long as I can and try and keep creating chances.
Obviously, likely to face very different conditions than you did in India, but how important is that experience of having those Test matches under your belt now, and what can you take from that experience if you do play this week?
Yeah, spot on. I think it's totally different conditions and in a totally different environment that I haven't experienced before. But I think, yeah, looking back on India and getting the opportunity to play Test cricket and be exposed to high-level contests only helps. And I think I took a lot of confidence from that experience over there. So I think just, yeah, trusting that if I do get the opportunity and just believe in myself that I can be good enough at this level.
Hey Todd, Nathan was even saying, before this tour that how much he's enjoyed, I guess, passing on information and kind of being there to help the development of your career. How valuable has that been to have Nathan? Yeah,
I've been so lucky, mate. I think I've said it a few times, like spin bowlers don't usually get the opportunity to come into a squad and have someone to sort of lean on and learn off. So, yeah, to have him there and just be able to, just continue to have a really good relationship and chat about all things spin bowling for the last 12 months in particular has been so good for my development. And he's a guy I think who just takes great interest in spin bowling, and he wants the game in Australia in particular just to make sure that all us young guys can continue to get better. And he's really good at giving us the information.
Todd, have you played much cricket in England before? And, kind of with that in mind, technically, and tactically, I suppose, what are the kind of things that you'll do differently here compared to bowling in India and also bowling in Australia?
I've never been to England before, so it's all quite new. But, I think it's being able to sit back and watch the first couple of tests and even the World Test Championship, just gain a little bit of information about conditions and how the game sort of played over here and the pace of play, just little things like that you can sort of take into account. And it's just about trying to adapt to what we get on the day. I haven't seen the wicket out there at all, so I'm not sure what we're getting, but just little things like that and just try and be really adaptable on the run and work from there.
Todd, the crowd here can be notoriously raucous. Your experience in India, I guess you probably played in front of big crowds that were pretty noisy. How did you cope with that, and what are you sort of expecting when you get out here for this one?
I think this might be a bit different to the Indian crowds. They made a lot of noise, but they're all quite friendly. So, I think from speaking to the boys, this is probably the most hostile ground you get in England. And, I'm quite looking forward to it if I do get the opportunity. I've always grown up watching Ashes cricket and love what the Barmy Army bring to the game, and it obviously adds to the atmosphere and adds to an away series. So it's going to be different, but and I'm sure they won't hold back. So just embrace it and try and have a good time with it.
Has there been a discussion between the team yet, and do you expect it to be how you're going to handle it all as a team, given what happened on Sunday and the booing and the response from the Lord's crowd?
No, there hasn't been a conversation. Well, certainly not that I've been a part of, and I don't think there will be. I think a lot of our boys are quite experienced, and guys probably handle it in their own different way. So I'm not sure we'll have sort of a team consensus about how we're going to go about it. But I think everyone's under no illusions that it's going to come pretty hard.
Are you a laugh it off kind of guy, or are you and play along, or are you like a try and ignore it and pretend it isn't happening? What do you think?
I'll tell you after the game. I don't actually know, to be honest. I haven't dealt with that before, and so it's all going to be new. But yeah, just try and embrace it and enjoy it, and it's all in good fun.
You talked about watching Ashes cricket growing up. What are your earliest Ashes memories, and was there a particular series or players that inspired you, and kind of how do you see Ashes cricket as a young Australian growing up?
Yeah, I think the 05 Ashes, even though I was only really young, that's probably the one that sticks out to me. And we had a DVD box set of it, and I watched it so many times just during the school holidays or if I was homesick and that. So I think that was, obviously played up as one of the greatest series ever, and watching guys like Warney do his thing and all that sort of stuff sort of builds to what Ashes cricket is. And then just watching it over the past few years and speaking to guys when you come into the squad, this is sort of the pinnacle of cricket, and this is where guys want to perform and do well and really make their mark because people remember Ashes series.
Todd, I remember in India you spoke about just being on the top of your mark and feeling a little nervous. Virat Kohli was at the other end. But you grew as that series progressed. So at the end of that series, even though different conditions, different pitches, did you feel like, I belong at this level?
I don't know if I ever felt like I fully belonged there, but I think you were definitely right. Like as the series sort of progressed, I felt more and more comfortable out there and probably more and more comfortable and confident in the plans I had in place and that I could execute that. So I think that's nice to look back on and know that, throughout the course of a series, I was able to build and build and build. And then, at the end of it was quite confident coming away.
And just one more. I mean, you obviously spoken a lot about how much Nathan and you speak. So this will be your first time as the one spinner in the side as compared to India with the others. What have your conversations with him been about that aspect?
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be different sort of outlook for me. And I had a really good chat with Nath. I think it might have been day 4 or 5 of the last test, and he sort of just said, mate, just trust what you've got and just believe in it, and don't go away from it, and just keep backing yourself in and make sure that you just play the role that you're here to play, and don't expect yourself to do too much. Just try and contribute when you can. So he's been awesome from that sense.
Todd, I know you said you pulled up a bit sore following India, because given the workload. How's your body, and do you think you're ready to bowl a lot of overs, given the likelihood of that as the team's number one spinner? Yeah,
my body's feeling really good at the moment, and I'm confident that the work I've sort of put in post India to get that right, hopefully can hold up. So, I probably don't know either until the series is done how I will cope with it. But I think, the sort of what was put in place post India to try and strengthen my body and get everything back up and going again has been really good, and I feel confident at the moment.
Todd, have you been surprised by just how much reaction there's been to the Jonny Bairstow dismissal on Sunday? It feels like everybody's had their say, including both Prime Ministers. Yeah, there has been a lot. I suppose it's hard. It was obviously quite controversial, and everyone has an opinion on it, which is fine. So, there has been a lot that's been played of it.
Todd, you said you've got no experience of playing in England, but you obviously had signed for Durham this year. Can you sort of talk us through what happened? Was it just that soreness from India that stopped you getting this sort of preparation?
Yeah, I was really excited by the opportunity to try and get to Durham and play some first-class cricket before potentially being a part of an Ashes campaign. And I think when I signed the contract, it was pre-India, and I probably within myself didn't expect to play 4 tests over there. So seeing there's a really good opportunity to get some cricket in, but as Dan sort of mentioned, post-India, I just wasn't up for it, and I needed to have a spell to try and make sure that if something like this did come up and there was a chance that I was going to be needed sort of towards the back end of an Ashes series, that, in my best interest was probably to get home and just put some work in and try and make sure that I was fresh coming over here.
Will you be going after this series to play for Durham? They were still quite hopeful, I think, that you might play some cricket for them afterwards. Yeah, there's been a few things sort of floating around. I don't really know how to answer because things change all the time. Like there was potentially an opportunity for me to play the next county game, and we were trying to work through that to get visas sorted, and then this has happened as well. So, things have changed a fair bit, and I don't think anything's sort of set in stone post Ashes, but I suppose just see how the next few games play out, and then what happens from there, I'm not sure. That would have involved you leaving the country, presumably, to play that game for Durham? Yeah, it did. We had a 2-day trip to Paris booked, and I was quite excited by it. I got to the airport and then the flight got cancelled, so it didn't quite work out. When was that? After the first test.
Yeah, so it would have been.
You actually there and you got scuppered.
Yeah, it was at the airport and then flight cancelled on my way back.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.